2018 has come and gone, leaving a slew of video games in its wake. I'd call it a damn solid year for gaming. Fighting games are back and better than ever. The Switch is basically my favorite console since the GameCube. There have been unexpectedly pleasant surprises aplenty. I've still not made a near review. And the Game Awards are still as cringy as they have ever been.
I'm also super gay, so I mean...
I can certainly trot out the tried and true top 10 of this year video, but I'd actually review the year as a whole for gaming as it was for me. So fellow humans, join me as I take you through the year that was 2K18. I will start this by saying that many of 2018's heavy hitters could not have been less appealing to me. This includes Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, and God of War. And I want it on the record that I am not saying this to be a contrarian. For all I know, they are probably fantastic games and I am just a jaded prick. That's not to say that my PS4 has been sitting completely derelict under 2 inches of dust. I recently got around to playing Gravity Rush 2, a masterpiece with deep enough flaws to fit Jim Sterling's ego. Nothing makes a game quite like a frame rate akin to a PowerPoint project with the camera operated by the same pill freak who probably wrote the game's story. And yet, in spite of that, I find myself powerless to this game's gravitational pull. It is a diamond in the rough and I wish the developers all the best, should Gravity Rush 3 ever come to pass. If there's one game to give me a shred of hope that such a triumph will strike, it is Nier Replicant. I've seen gender study lecture halls with fewer identity issues than this game. It tries to be a master of many, only succeeding in few. It goes from your standard hack and slash to a top-down shooter, then Resident Evil, then Final Fantasy VII. And to get every single ending, I had to play through each increasingly tedious section over and over. And fuck it all if it wasn't worth the trouble. I was in love from beginning to end, making my devotion to Automata all the more abiding. But those were games that came out before 2018. To wash out the bad taste in my mouth that Chromagun left, I played Cube 2. Criminally underrated doesn't even begin to describe this exemplar of a puzzle game. In the death of Portal games, a first-person puzzle fan is sure to get their fix. But hey, if you're not looking for something terribly challenging, look no further than Gris. Behold with your mouth agape at its watercolored, painstakingly animated, illustrious splendor. This game deserves all the attention it can get, because Lord knows the Game Awards will inexorably forget about this game when it scrambles to find Best Art Direction nominees. I mean, if the exceptional Xenoblade Chronicles 2 can be forgotten, you can bet your pert ass this one will be too. Now, it's an immutable fact that the indie darling for everyone in 2018 was Celeste, and for damn good reason. The soundtrack and story are equally poignant. Its puzzle within a platform challenges gleefully give you the best rectal ramming a difficulty cock could ever dish out. However, my indie pick of the year is none other than Crosscode. Unfettering oneself from the shackles of early access is no easy task. It has certainly led to some wonderful games, but call me tricky dick if I said that early access has been a resounding success. The PC gaming landscape is more of the Wild West for video games than it has ever been. But I honestly find that sorting through the oodles of crap is worth finding a little cream. Fellow humans, I am seeing a huge crop of games inspired by the Zelda series aggrandize the gaming landscape. Minute is Zelda Hog's Day, It'll Do is Zelda Kazooie, Kamiko is Mini Zelda, Crosscode is Zelda Hunter. Grind quests aplenty and at least 30 hours of action RPG joy, with 5 behemoth dungeons to boot. It is a game that no self-respecting gamer should ever miss out on. And how about them fighting games, huh? The lovely folks at Arc System Works have been busy little fuckers this past year, with weeaboo fighters galore. Chief among them being BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. With the frankly overrated Dragon Ball FighterZ being 2018's fan favorite, I think Cross Tag deserves a little more love. Can't escape from crossing fate indeed. It's fast, it's chaotic, the combo system with the assists leave open so many possibilities, it's easy to learn but hard to master, the mark of any good game. But hey, you know what wasn't so great? Chasm, or as I like to call it, the video game equivalent of copying off the stupid kid's test. People love games that have you mindlessly run around for the next MacGuffin that's only used once to progress through the tediously unchallenging ordeal. That'll sell like hotcakes. Put it out. Give me one good reason I should give the faintest fuck about a game that is supposed to succeed such a game. Fine, fair enough. Putting aside my autistic hate boner for Symphony of the Night, I genuinely bid the Bloodstained project Godspeed. The Kickstarter milieu is spottier than a Rorschach test, and with games like Mighty No. 2 or Star Silicon making such strides, we can't afford more duds, lest we risk a turbulent turn in the tides for our indie darlings. It certainly doesn't help that in the Metroidvania genre, it contends with the likes of Momodora 4, Cave Story, and Iconoclasts, a game 7 years in the making and is now upon us. I humbly thank the good folks at Limited Run Games for indulging my desire for physical media and giving me this game on the Switch. It is doubtlessly more linear than its peers, but stands a cut above the rest by brandishing a darker narrative than its beautifully drawn sprites and backdrops would have you believe. Now I'm sure after all this prattle you good folks are wondering what on God's green earth is my game of the year, and I will reward your patience thusly. Picking one out of the batch is no easy task. This industry has more blemishes than a 2-year-old banana. Being a fan of Square Enix in particular is like playing Ninja Gaiden on the Power Glove. Having said that, I'm happy to say that they have taken Game of the Year twice in a row with none other than Final Fantasy XV Windows Edition. Oh, sorry. What I meant to say was Octopath Traveler. Ah yes, Octopath Traveler. A game that recaptured my childhood memories of playing Final Fantasy IV on my Game Boy. Between its jaw-dropping presentation, its beautifully orgasmic soundtrack, and actual role-playing, we get 8 stories to help us connect to each character on an individual level. No matter how uninteresting the premise might be in ink, it manages to land every time. And on top of that all, this is a game published by a AAA company, and there is nary a season pass, microtransaction, or any other extraneous monetization contrivance that EA or Activision will inevitably cook up. This is the incarnation of everything I could possibly love in a video game. I can bitch all I want about the action-based circle jerk that the Final Fantasy series is today, or I can acknowledge that Square knows what the fuck fans of classics like me want and are giving it to us by the boatloads. They're unequivocally seeing some hard times right now, and I hope to the heavens that they pull through. Come on, Square Enix. Believe it or not, I'm pulling for you. The small budget titles have made a huge splash, and my fellow humans, that was 2018 in a nutshell. Because these games are thankfully short in length, I was able to clock many hours into the fighting game genre and catch the fuck up on last year's catalog. One Shot, Super Mario Odyssey, and Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, just to name a few. And on the horizon, we have the likes of Deltarune, System Shock, Hazelnut Bastille, and Son of Crimson to expect. So tell me, what was your gaming life like for 2018? And if you like what you saw, there's more that came from. This is Wayne the Crimson Eye, over and out.